Hey, what's up? My name is Addy, and I am one of the summer interns for Pastor David. I've been here for the past 2 summers. So my life before Christ was actually a while ago for me. I remember being like 4 or 5, and I would watch my oldest sister just never get in trouble. She was so kind, and she always treated me just so much better than I treated her. I was so angry all the time, and I finally I just couldn't understand it. And so as a little kid, I went up to Taylor, is her name, and I asked her what the deal was, like why she wasn't getting in trouble and why I was, and she sat me down and she shared the gospel with me. She told me that she believed in Jesus, and she believed that Jesus had saved her and that he had forgiven her sins, and that she wanted to be nicer to me because Jesus was nice to her. And so she shared this very simple gospel with me, but I remember I just believed it immediately because I trusted my sister, but I also trusted what Jesus was saying in the verses that she shared with me. I feel like the majority of my story actually starts after I became a Christian, especially since I was 5 years old when I accepted Christ and when I was baptized. And it really starts with I just didn't understand the full gospel because I was so little, and I remember kind of putting it to the side until I was about 11 years old because I just didn't understand it, and so I just didn't really waste time thinking about it until I was 11, and I went to Africa with my parents because we were adopting 4 children from Ethiopia. And I remember standing in the orphanage and for the first time understanding that when God offers us forgiveness, when we accept the sacrifice that Jesus gave for us and the forgiveness that he offers us, that is a rescue story. And that is really what adoption was all about. And I saw my siblings being welcomed out of brokenness into a family, and I think I understood what God really offered me for the first time. After this first realization of kind of what God does for us, I kind of sidelined my faith again. I was still going to church. My family's always been in church, but I wasn't really reading my Bible, and I wasn't really thinking about it. And so when I was in high school, I got into a pretty bad situation where I was, for about 2.5 years, I was getting pretty seriously abused, and I just didn't have a way out for about 2.5 years. And at the end of those couple years, I remember getting out of a bad situation. It wasn't something that I could have done on my own. Someone rescued me. And I remember going to college right after this had happened, and I finally opened my Bible for the first time. Not for the first time, but the first time I decided to read my Bible all the way through, because I just had questions. I was so confused. I didn't understand how a loving God, this God that I had thought I believed in my entire life, how he could let something so evil happen to me. And so I started asking that, and I decided to read the whole Bible to see if I could understand it. And so I read it start to finish in that first year of college, and I remember finishing it, and really it dawned on me that the Bible is a rescue story. That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what God did for me, for bringing me out of an abusive situation. That's exactly what he did for my siblings when he brought them from a very broken place in their life into a new family. And so I feel like when I went to college, it was just another time where I understood a little bit more about what God offers us when he offers us salvation. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the majority of my story, of just understanding how loving God is, and also that even after becoming a believer, when bad things and hard things keep happening, that God continues to save us and to rescue us every day. I know that if I died today, I would go to heaven because I believe John 3:16. I believe that when God promises to save us, when he gave his one and only son because he loved us, he doesn't end it there. He also promises that we won't perish, but that we'll have everlasting life. And I do believe that someday I will get to see him face to face.